So it turns out that it's possible that we were wrong. If you're new here, my twin sister Emily and I have lost over 160 pounds following a keto lifestyle. And honestly, we have been doing keto on and off for our adult lives. And one of the tools that we really implemented into our lives was intermittent fasting. And it turns out that according to science, it doesn't do much for weight loss. There was a research review that looked at 22 studies and concluded that intermittent fasting isn't necessarily better than the standard dietary advice for weight loss. Great. And when I heard that, I was like, really? What? How can that be possible? Because we think it's a tool that is very useful in our everyday lives. We're not doctors, we're just two people in our 40s that are trying to live a healthier lifestyle than we did, many moons ago. So to hear this, I took a deeper dive into this study. It says that it reviewed about 2,000 adults and it compared intermittent fasting versus a standard calorie diet advice. The result? Little difference in weight loss. Reasonable option, but social media hype may be overstated. Woof. So I just thought we would talk about it, like the type of intermittent fasting that we do. Why we disagree. Contrary to this evidence, and yeah, if you should implement it into your life. Before we get started, we will say that we aren't militant about anything, okay? So we always say to you guys, most of the day we're eating 1 meal a day. Some days we might eat 2 meals a day. Almost never do I eat 3 meals a day. It's usually, I'll make it till 1 o'clock and I'm like, I need to eat something. Right. I'll eat something and then I'll eat dinner. Or I will just wait until 4:30 p.m., then eat dinner. Right. But we're not militant about anything. It's just the natural flow of how we've been eating for the last 5 years. But I do feel like there's a benefit to intermittent fasting. I feel a little bit protective about intermittent fasting. The practice in general, because I feel like it's helped me in many ways. For us, I think it's more about having a shorter eating window where you eat during a specific amount of time and you're not eating during the other half, right? Mm-hmm. And most of it, you're sleeping. I guess the issue that I have with this is that, sure, if you eat less overall, it doesn't matter if you have this window where you don't eat. You're still gonna lose around the same amount of weight. But there's a different thinking involved with intermittent fasting. Right. You're training yourself to not just eat mindlessly on this schedule all day, every day, and to worry about calculating those meals and thinking, am I running in a carb deficit? Am I running in a calorie deficit? If you eliminate one of those meals, it's much easier to stay under that deficit. Well, were all of these people eating the same calories? Yeah. Right. Too. I mean, it doesn't really say that, but I would assume everybody was eating the same thing. Otherwise, it doesn't even make sense. I feel like there is a learning curve not even a learning curve, but it takes a while to get used to the idea of intermittent fasting. Even our mother is doing 1 meal a day now. Right. And it was hard for her. She would wake up and she would be counting down the hours before she could eat. And now she's ooh, it's my time meal of the day. She makes it now, and she eats whatever she wants during that meal of the day. But she has lost weight and she feels a lot better because you're just not constantly eating, even if it's a small amount. For my mom, she was a huge snacker. It's not really the meals that made her gain weight, it was the snacking after the meal. She would watch her Korean dramas or whatever and be on chips or whatever and mindlessly eating it. And now she eats her meal and then she knows, okay, my window is over for the night. It's about putting easy boundaries on things without you overthinking it. It's way easier to do it with intermittent fasting. Right. Not only that, you save money because you're not buying a whole third meal that has to be different than your second meal and your third meal. I'm not saying that it's bad to do a calorie deficit. I mean, we reduce our calories too easier by doing intermittent fasting. Right. So yes, intermittent fasting may not show a bigger difference than weight loss. But what about the other positives of it? Right. That's my issue with this study. It's there's so much more to losing weight than just counting macros. It is the mentality of doing it. The food noise. Right. That's why people love GLP-1s because that has been taken away. They're not even thinking about what can I munch on. It's not even a part of your thought process. Right. I don't know. I'm a little defensive of it. I will be honest. I mean, because I feel like there's a negativity with fasting in general, so people are against it. When we went on vacation to Hawaii many years ago, we didn't have anything for breakfast. We didn't until we left the house. Mm-hmm. And we were fine. There are some people that plan a vacation only around food. breakfast, lunch, snack,
Dessert.
dinner, dessert, snack for the hotel, you know? And to me, that's just so many decisions to make in one day. I just don't really care to spend that much brain power on it. I just want my eating window, and then I can move on with my life. And then plan my vacation doing other things. It's not gonna be about the food in those situations, which was it was difficult for us because food takes up a lot of time. And it's like, oh, let's go to this restaurant and eat there. And it's like a couple hours and you're going to, you know, it's like an adventure. And so when you take that away, you gotta fill it with something that isn't food.
But didn't you go on another vacation?
Right. Yeah, I went on a vacation and to Miami or something. And my friends, on day 2 or 3, one of them came up to me and was like, hey, like, can we like go to breakfast or something? And I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. I never suggested breakfast because I don't eat breakfast. So they literally were starving because they eat breakfast every day. I don't know, because I was kind of like in charge of the trip and planning stuff. Like they were just scared to like bring it up or something. I'm like, I can go and have a coffee or something, or maybe I will eat. Like I said, we're not militant about it. But sometimes I think that people are afraid to eat in front of someone else that isn't eating.
Right. Yeah.
Like I can sit there and have a drink and be content. No, it's not enough. You have to be eating. Like it's a social thing. Everybody has to be eating together or whatever. For me, it's a freeing thing. I don't have to think about food until like, it's like 1 o'clock. I should probably eat now.
Especially when I'm eating, if I'm like on plan, I don't really get excited about anything about it anymore. It's just like, throw it down the gullet, whatever.
Right. Maybe the science shows that it's not good, or not good, that it's not beneficial, but you know,
there's more than just weight loss involved.
It's and more than that factor. Go ahead.
Learning to change the way that you operate is a whole different fight. And so macros and everything like that, counting every calorie, weighing it, it's like some people really, they like doing that. I don't. And so this just makes it so much easier, and that counts for something. And after the learning period and after you get used to it, this is easy to do forever. You just learn how, you don't even think about it. You are just that now. And so eventually you will not think about food until 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. It won't even be a thought. It's a different lifestyle, but I can't imagine wanting to invite that food noise back into my life when I've been without it for so long. So Emily and I are a little different. We are highly affected by carbohydrates, and so we feel the best when we're doing keto or low carb. So unfortunately. Well, you know, we were talking about this in another video that, you know, lipedema, which we are pretty sure, 99.9% sure, that we have that, which is a metabolic fat storage disorder, is beneficial to do fasting. How long? I don't know, but maybe the reason why we haven't progressed into the later stages of it is because we've been doing intermittent fasting for like 5 years now. So we are stage 1, there's many stages. We've talked about that in another video. We can link it after this one, but that could be one of like, I was thinking about it and I said that could be beneficial. Also the keto thing, but I think intermittent fasting, as it keeps your blood sugar lower so that, you know, you're not as affected with this disease that we have. Maybe you're one of the 15% of women that has lipedema. So that's another positive that isn't just the weight loss thing. It's also about that. I don't know. Just wanted to throw that in there because, you know, we talked about this like a month ago, and it's still like unraveling my brainstem to know that I have this because it's like life-changing information. So if you want to watch that video, we'll leave it. Yeah. I'm Sarah. And I'm Emily. And we are the Keto Twins signing out.